leather has provided me more value than I would have ever imagined. I enjoy these conversations. For being typically an introvert, but when I have something I enjoy, I don't mind talking about it all day. I mean, I enjoy sharing, I enjoy learning, I enjoy asking questions. You have these other interviews with other folks, I will listen to those interviews intently because I'm learning so much from them. You know, I'd rather not even hear myself talk. I want to hear everyone else talk, really. The leathercraft gives a lot.
Odin Clack is a marketing pro, a leather artisan, and a devoted husband and father. We're digging into what that really looks like. So let's get into it. Thank you for joining us here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Happy to be here.
So let's talk about Odin Leather Goods. How did that get started?
Really what got it started is I was looking just to do something creative. I've told the story many times before, but I had a son who was in the hospital at the time. He was there for a few weeks, and I left the hospital just to clear my head and drive around. I like to drive. That's what I do. And I saw a store, and it just said leather supply. Okay, what's that? I walked inside, parked the car, walked inside, and saw this wall of material, leathers, and all these different types of leathers, and I saw another wall, all these different tools, and I didn't know what any of it was. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, I need to know what this stuff is. That's too interesting for me not to know, and so that's really what happened. I went there, I bought probably $200 or $300 worth of stuff I didn't need. In hindsight, I know I didn't need most of it. I didn't probably need 90% of it. Bought it, and then found some time later in the week where I could go home, and I said, I'm gonna make a laptop sleeve. And I, without instruction, without reading anything, there was no YouTube videos at the time, I tried to make a laptop sleeve. And my sweet wife, she looked at me and she said, that's beautiful, that's great. She was absolutely lying to me when she said that, right? And I appreciate her lying to me and telling me that, because I was like, oh, that's cool. If it's that great now, what happens if I make it again? And I make it again, and I make it again. So I made like the same laptop sleeve like 6 or 7 times. Each time got a little better, a little better, a little better. I went back to the store and they kept on telling me, well, you need to try this, and you should try that. And I'm just shelling out cash, just trying these things. And eventually I realized, you know what? These folks may not know as much as I am giving them credit for. I got to find some other resources. And I did. I looked around and started asking some questions, and it turned into a bit of a quest to be more proficient. I made this thing, it looks fine, it's functional, I guess, but it doesn't look as good as what's in the store. It doesn't look as good as this thing over here I really liked. That I couldn't afford, mind you, right? So I'm trying to figure out how can I make this laptop sleeve that I want, but I can afford. What's the difference? And that's what really started me down this path of trying to understand leathercraft. Unlike some of the great names that we hear in the industry, you know, they have a legacy, family background. My only connection to leather was that I used it, I appreciated it, I liked it. My father's family came from a ranching background, and so there was leather implements around, but nothing that was made by them, you know. I just wanted to be proficient, and I want to fund this new hobby. I've had many hobbies over the years. I've had many creative outlets because my background has been on the corporate side, marketing side of things. I've always done digital work, graphic design work, website design, consulting, all these different things. But to kind of keep me engaged, I always had something on the side that was more tangible, like something I put my hands on. Mm-hmm. So I've tried woodworking, I've worked with some motorcycles, I've done all kinds of things over the years that I found fun. And I'd do them for a period of time. I was like, okay, cool, that was great. On to the next thing. And I'd go find another thing to try. I just wanted to try and learn new things. Leather was no different at the time. Mm-hmm. But leather turned out to be such a big, broad spectrum of options and things you can make. I just kept on going. And I'm still trying to learn more about leather, right? I mean, yes, I teach a couple classes here and there, but I'm only teaching what I know. When I'm not teaching, I'm trying to take other people's classes to figure out how to get more proficient in other areas of leathercraft that I have not touched yet, whether it be shoemaking, saddle making, whatever it is. I want to know it all. I mean, it's a very broad, art and craft, and I'd like to think that there's plenty more for me to learn. I know there's more for me to learn. So anyway, in terms of how Odin Leather Goods it really started with me trying to experiment, then it turned into a little bit of a hobby, and then funding that hobby, and then somewhere along the way, someone said, hey, could you make me this thing? And of course, I was like, absolutely, I'll try it, right? And I think it was a tooled wallet I made for someone, and they were very happy with it. And then someone else saw it and said, well, would you make me one too? And that started down the business. And then it was, okay, now I'm spending a ton of time here, spending a ton of money here. I've built businesses before. I'm a business guy, I'm a marketing guy. Why don't I take what I know in the corporate life and apply that to the craft? Mm-hmm. let's build an actual brand. Let's actually build a company. And that's really what started us down a path of organizing ourselves differently and thinking about the products differently. Thinking about things as a product line and a brand and how do we want to grow that brand. And the rest has been history. I mean, now we've grown from this hobby that was done at my dining room table. Then I got pushed out to the garage at some point in time. I had a little corner in the garage and took over half the garage, then took over the full garage. And then I finally got pushed out of the garage and I had my own external space. I was outbuilding, I think I was like 1,500 square feet. That was a really big move for us. And I thought I was never fill that space with anything. I mean, it was pretty empty and cavernous in there when we first moved in. And along the way, I must say, my wife was like, yep, cool. I'd always look back at her. It's like, it's fine. Because she would be the one to give me a little pushback. Never any pushback, just, yeah, it was good. So she obviously saw something I didn't even see at the time. Yeah. And then so we moved to that space. I'm selling online. My corporate background is mostly in the digital space and selling websites. And so that was very comfortable for me. I can sell anything online, right? And so most of the business we have was built with using social media and selling on our own website. We bypassed all the other marketplaces that a lot of people use. We just built our own site and did all that online marketing directly because that's what I do. That's what what I built my career around. And it worked out really well for us, especially for the first, 5, 6, 7 years, how long it's been. Around, let's see, so COVID hit in 2020, something like that. Yeah. So around 2019, someone reached out to us and says, hey, we have this great opportunity. We've been following you for a while. Would you like to open a retail store? My first response was, absolutely not. No, that sounds like a nightmare. Why would I want to open a retail store? Overhead and all these things. I'm not doing that. I've got a corporate job. I'm still seeing my corporate job as my main job, right? That's what I'm there for. Mm-hmm. And this is just something we're doing on the side. People would say a side hustle.
Yeah. Your funded hobby.
Yeah, it's my funded hobby, right? Exactly. Yes, but it's a funded hobby, but I also start paying attention to that there's a moment in which first I'm taking money away from the household to fund my hobby. Then I'm breaking even on my hobby and I'm not ever taking any money out of the household. Then it turned into, okay, actually now I'm putting some money into the household with my hobby. And then it went from there to, okay, now I don't even touch my corporate salary. That just goes into the house and my wife can do whatever she wants with it because everything I need is coming from my hobby. Mm-hmm. And that's when things started to flip around. We had to really think about the business differently. And we did finally, after a lot of prayer and talking ad nauseum about why we shouldn't do it, I ran out of reasons why I can't do it. I ran out of reasons why I shouldn't do this retail store. And I was like, oh, I guess we have to do it. I'm out of excuses why I can't. The numbers made sense, everything made sense. It took about a year or so for us to organize that and get that ready to go. And they were trying to build this big development there in the Dallas area. And we finally opened a store. We opened it on March 3rd. Was it 2019 or 2020? I guess it was 2020 when COVID hit. So we opened it March 3rd, had a grand opening party on March 7th.
The world shut down
which was
on March
great. 13th. For us, 13th.
Okay.
And the party was great. It was best. I mean, it was outstanding. I mean, the amount of support we had come out, the people that follow us online and friends and family all came up. It was great. It's like, hey, this is going to work out. A couple of days later, shut down.
Yeah.
And there was a moment where like, this was the worst decision ever. But it turned out just fine. It actually made it through because I was already online selling. I was comfortable there. It basically turned into like a warehouse for us, right? So everything I had in there, we just sold online. That's what happened, and it worked out. We were able to get through that period, and we came out stronger than we were when we went into it. Fast forward another couple of years, we opened up the second store, and that was more about us needing a new workshop space. My workshop was what you call flex space. It had a small office with a little air conditioner in there, just enough for one person, maybe two people sitting there, and the rest was just open air. And it was essentially in a convection oven, is what it was. I mean, that building had zero insulation. Yeah. And it just bakes in the Texas sun. There was only one entrance on the front, which means there's what is even a cross breeze through that joint. And it was hot. And we worked in there for 5 years or so. And this is after being in my garage for so long. Yeah. And I just finally got tired of, sweating it out and shivering. And we decided we needed to get a new space. And the space we found actually had enough space for us to have the workshop and for us to have another retail store. That's how we ended up with 2 retail stores. So now we've got 2 retail stores, we've got the online store that goes, we've got events that we do, we've got a number of angles into the business. We've been able to find these little natural expansion points for the business, and we've grown from it being just me to now I think we have a team of 9 people.
Okay.
which includes my wife. My wife, I've convinced her, conned her, convinced her, I don't know what she would say, to leave her corporate job, and she joined me in the business, and she's a major part of it now too.
Yeah, and she's lovely. I've spoken with her before. She's great.
She's more than I deserve, I'd say, I put it like that.
Yeah.
So.
That's great. I have a side question for you. We just published a piece in the magazine, and everybody talks about the effects of leather on the ecosystem and the everything else. But we just published a piece, the effects of environment on leather. Did you see a difference when they were baking in your warehouse for 5 years?
I was warned about that. I was told by a number of people, hey, you're gonna have to be careful about mildew and mold and all these different things. But I actually never had that. I never had a problem with it. And when I say open environment, it's open. I mean, when it was raining outside, it's humid and muggy. It's just kind of swampy in there. When it's hot, you're baking. And so it's going through that cycle of, with the weather. And I never saw any effects of it. Now, with the tools, yes. With the different consumables we use, like especially with adhesives, absolutely that was a problem at times, right? I use a water-based adhesive, concept adhesive that I love, and I think everyone should use, to be honest with you. I know I get some flack for that, but that is something I could not use when it was raining outside. It wouldn't stick for nothing.
Probably 8 days.
8 days, it wouldn't stick at all. But as long as it was, hot and dry or drier outside, it works great. But that's something we have to get used to, working in that environment. Yeah, now we're spoiled. Like, it gets a little cold outside. We're like, oh, somebody hit the air conditioning. It's too cold in here. And then we look at each other. We're like, are you kidding me? Just a couple years ago, we're getting soft. My one guy who's been with me for 8 years, Brandon, we started working together because we met in a barbershop. And he's like, oh, I do leathercraft. Both thinking, well, whatever. Sure.
Do, yeah.
But he probably thought I was going to try to sell him some kind of, direct sales product or something on the side. Like, come on over and meet me. And I would have been cautious as well. But he joined me, and we've been working together for like 8 years now. He helped me out on an hourly basis on little projects, like once, twice a week. Then it turned into part-time, then it turned into full-time. And he's been a great part of the company as well. And he and I, we sweated it out in that workshop, my garage, and then the larger workshop. We were cold there. There were a few days. We never called it quits on a hot day. But there were a couple of cold days. We were like, hey, I think this is going to be, it's a bit much. The long johns aren't working. The kerosene heaters aren't working enough. How about we just come back tomorrow, right? And it was a 3 days like that. So now we're in this workshop together. He's still with me. And we do have to remind each other that we're getting soft at times when we complain about needing to adjust the air conditioner or something. So, but we've earned the right. We put our time in for sure.
Yep, you earned that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, you touched on your marketing background just a tad, and I want to make sure I ask this question in a way that makes sense. But you've led digital marketing strategy for many large organizations over the years. How has that influenced how you market your leather brand today?
Well, I would say the marketing, my marketing background, not just the marketing background, but the corporate background has pushed me to organize ourselves a little differently. I am organized as a business, not as a craft or not as a hobby. You say, well, obviously, you sell things, you must be a business. No, I don't think that's obvious to a lot of people. A lot of folks, they really want to run a hobby. They want to enjoy what they're passionate about, leathercraft. They want to make things all day long. But truth be told, if you want to run a business, you're going to probably do less and less of the actual craft itself. You've got to organize things a bit differently. You've got to say, my business is, my brand is, my company is this. You need to define that and then make decisions around that. I love the idea of making a saddle, okay? That's a hobby decision for me personally, right? Because I'm not going to make saddles professionally. I'm not going to make saddles and sell saddles in my shop. Not going to happen, right? One, I'm not good enough, and two, that's not the market I have. So I have to classify things. That's a hobby decision, put that in the hobby category, do that in my free time. The business decisions I make are more about, okay, the type of customers I have, the marketplace I'm in, what is going to drive this. And not only what's going to drive this, it's not what drives my passion, because it's not always things I'm passionate about. I'm not personally passionate about making purses. My wife and I went back and forth on this. Like, you need to make purses. I'm like, I don't want to make purses. You need to make this purse. I don't want to make that purse. I don't know what purses are. I don't understand them. I don't get them. She says, back and forth. But she's right. I have too many young ladies come into the store for them to come in and not have something that they can latch onto. That's a business decision, right? So that's one thing. The way we organize the business, the way we run things, the way we fund things, those are all business decisions. And what has guided me through that is my corporate background. certainly on the marketing side, I do think about Odin Leather Goods as a brand now. It's not just me. In fact, if I was probably going to start the company all over again, I probably would not name it Odin. It's too easy to attach it to me, and truth be told, it's not me. I'm part of it. I have my wife, I have Brand, I have these other workers, Riley and Debbie, and all these other people that help grow the company. Odin, the name itself can be a little restricting, right? So we've got to work around that, and it's fine. We're going to do that. But if I was going to do it again, I'd come up with something a little broader, right? I would change my pricing strategy around, right? The way you price things. As a hobbyist, you price things basically to cover your costs and make a little money on the side. As a business, you got to price things to know that you have taxes, you have overhead. Do you plan on going to manufacturing wholesale at any point in time? If you do, you need to make products and select inputs for those products that are going to allow you to hit those price points. If you don't, you will find yourself always behind the curve. And so those are the type of decisions that have helped me with growing Odin Leather Goods. Past that, on the marketing side, again, it really goes back to branding, knowing who we are, defining who we are. You can change it over time if you want, right? It just changes really slowly. We basically have a point on the horizon we've picked and say, Odin Leather Goods is this. This is our goal for the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. This is where we want to end up in 10 years from now, and our decisions guide us in that direction. If we need to change the strategy around a little bit, we can do that, but they're slow, gradual changes, not these massive things. When I come across something cool, maybe I go to one of the leather shows and I see this really cool leather and I see this cool product. I'm like, oh man, that'd be so fun to make. Is it a business decision or is it a hobby decision? I can have my hobby. I do have my hobbies within leathercraft, but I have to make sure that I don't derail my business just because I want to chase after making this widget over here. So that's all corporate work, and I think that's helped me. I've met some hobbyists and technicians and some folks that have been doing this for a very long time, and they've asked me some questions about, well, how was I able to grow? Because comparatively, I've grown Odin Leather Goods relatively quickly compared to folks that we've seen. They've been working on their business for 40, 50 years. I mean, they've been at this for a long time. And I have not gone through that cycle yet. I hope that I am in business that long, but I've been able to, be a bit more focused, a bit more precise, and certainly more, targeted in what I do because we are running a business. I mean, this is a capitalistic type of endeavor, right? We're not here just to, we're here to make a profit. And not only am I here to make a profit, I'm here to make a profit and also take care of these 8 or 9 people that are working for me, who I'm absolutely dedicated towards making sure that they have what they need. And so I cannot afford to make decisions based on just a whim or emotion or, a hobby type thing, right? That has to be set aside. So I don't know if that answered your question, but
it absolutely does
guide how we think about things.
In the same way that you started, there are so many, the large majority of the leather community, as you know, they start off on their kitchen table. They start out, kicking their wife's car out of the garage. And then some of them, they choose to stay in that space. Some of them grow beyond.
I don't think everyone needs to go the business route. If you are happy running a hobby and you're happy with just doing the craft, there's nothing wrong with that decision. Yeah. Right? No one's telling us we have to do anything. Right? I don't have to grow my business to $1 million a year or $3 million. But we need to know what we want individually. So.
Absolutely. So what are small makers and creative business owners still doing wrong about marketing in 2025 if they did want to grow out of that garage and kitchen table space?
One of the biggest things I see folks when they're trying to transition from hobbyist to a business or brand is not looking at their business as a brand, right? Mm-hmm. When someone says ABC Leather Good Company out of, so-and-so Oklahoma, people need to understand that business does something, right? Most of us enjoy the craft. We will do almost anything because we just enjoy making it. We enjoy learning new things. The problem is your business can't be wishy-washy. You can't be making shoes or sneakers one day and then tomorrow we're going to make saddles, right? Or rifle slings or wallets. Well, because when a customer comes to you, they're like, well, which one are you? And if you're none of them, you can't be good at anything, right? Also, we only have so much time in the day, we only have so much money available to us. If we are going to spend our time and money on growing a business, again, hobby aside, growing a business, we will get a better return when we're focused. So one of the biggest transitions we had to make when I was making that transition myself was I was making everything. I probably had 50, 60 things that I would be willing to make. You call me, I'd make it because I enjoy it. I can't run a business that way. I can't grow a business that way. So we had to narrow things down, and we had to have a very my wife and I, she helped me with this. I remember this, we were probably driving to Houston or something. We had a discussion. These things here are great, but what is the business really going to be? How can we get this line of 50 items that we can make, we've made already, get it down to like 10? So, well, why would you limit yourself to 10 items? You're going to make so much. Because it's too hard to explain who we are with 60 items in the catalog. Mm-hmm. We can explain who we are with 10 items, and that's actually a large number. I'd go even smaller than that. Yeah. I'd say, we make these 4 items, and we do them really, really well. That's the core business line. We're going to put all our effort behind that. We're going to perfect it. We're going to get a customer base behind these 4 items. If they're not, I'll go back to who the customers are in a moment, because that's another area that I think helps people back. But I'd focus on those, and then from there, grow out from there really, really slowly and intentionally, right? Just because we can make it, we can do it well, doesn't mean it should be a part of our business model, right? So focus is the biggest thing. Who do you want to be? What do you want your business to be? And once you define that, anytime you break stride from that, you need to have a really good excuse for why. I will break stride from some of those things at times. But the decision usually is because it's a marketing tactic. I will make a alligator suitcase, which I've done. I did that a couple of years ago. I made this big alligator suitcase. I don't make alligator suitcases. I don't sell that. But you know what it does? It's a marketing thing because I'm making content that people get excited about. They want to see it, and it brings them to the store. No one's going to buy on a regular basis an alligator suitcase from me, but that will draw them in the store. That was an intentional decision that was made. I didn't change my product line up. It turned out great, but I didn't add it to the product line. So those are the type of things that you need to be considerate of. Know who you are and point yourself in that direction. If you're going to change the directions, have a very good reason for why you're changing that direction. Focus, intentionality, decide what your product line is. Start to design products that you are able to produce well and consistently. When a customer comes to me and they say, I want this wallet because I saw this guy down the street had the same wallet and I really liked it, I want to make sure they're going to get the exact same wallet. Same quality at least, right? Yeah. And so that's how we've organized the business. Two other things I'll share that, first one being, hobbyists tend to we feel like we need more time. We need more of this, we need more of that. We want to chase after, we need the bigger tool, we need the bigger machine. I was the same way. I love machines. Machines are cool. I would tell people, instead of focusing on having to get more help, more money, more machinery, how can you be more efficient? Yeah. I did grow Odin Leather Goods in my garage after hours, on my lunch breaks while I was working a corporate job. It took me a long time to invest in some of the machines. Even now, people are surprised at some of the machines. I have a lot of great machines, cool things in the shop, but I also have things, they're surprised to know that a lot of things I don't have. A lot of things we still cut by hand, and strap cutters. I just got a strap cutter a year ago. Every belt we made, and we made thousands of them now, was hand cut. Yeah. Right? Learn and figure out ways to be more efficient in your work before you try to expand. Yeah. Before you take on more overhead. I really had maxed out my garage space before we moved to the next space. There was no place else for us we couldn't work anymore, right? There was no room for me and no room for Brandon, right? Yeah. We had gone through the routes, okay, well, what if you work these hours and I work these hours and this and that, we've done all that. What if we move this machine? It's efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. There was a point in time where I actually took all the chairs out of the workshop in my garage because I knew, I'm not saying anyone should do this, but for me it was, I know that I come home from work, I'm tired. If I sit down in that chair at the workbench, I'm not gonna get back up again. I'm gonna move slower. I'm not gonna wanna walk over there. Okay, I have to be more efficient, get rid of the chair. So how can I get more out of what I have? That's all we're trying to do. And today we do that as well. We're a small shop, we do big work, we do big jobs, and it's because we were moving it as efficiently as possible. Before we invest in something else, before we expand, before we have to get a new workshop space because we have more, we gotta get what we can out of this. So that's the other thing. Find efficiencies before you invest and put more overhead in it. And then the last thing I would tell the hobbyists is, I hear this a lot, they say, well, no one will pay me for my work around here. That's a tough one, right? So I say this all over and over again. Your business cannot be defined by your mom, your aunt, your uncles, and brothers and sisters. Yeah. For a couple of reasons. One, just because they won't pay you for that doesn't mean your work isn't worth more. Just because your neighbor who's known you since you were a little bitty kid only wants to pay you $50 for your belt and he feels like he's giving you a favor, doesn't mean your belt is not worth $250. Right. Right? So don't let your business be defined by your immediate contacts, the immediacy of what's around you, right? If those are not the right customers for you and you know your work is worth more, go get new customers, right? Don't be afraid. Now, that does require you to step out of places. It does require you to put yourself out there. We tend to want to stay close to our warm markets, our family, friends, because it's a comfortable place. The problem with that comfort level is the same people who won't pay you for that, when you have a really great idea, they're going to tell you it's a bad idea because they don't want to see you take a risk.
Yeah.
They love you, right? They don't want to see you fail, so they're going to say, no, don't leave your job, don't do this, don't move too fast, right? They'll hold you back a little bit. Because they love you, they're trying to be protective of you.
Sure.
At the same time, they'll also tell you when you have a really dumb idea, they'll say, man, that was a great idea. You should really try that. And yeah, go for it, buddy. No, you shouldn't. It's a dumb idea. Don't do that.
Yeah.
It's all out of love. They're not trying to be malicious and hurt you, but they're trying to protect you. I think it's better personally to grow your business outside of your warm market as fast as possible. Go find people and groups in situations where they don't know you at all. Put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Go pay the $25 and go sit up at the farmer's market and be willing to be rejected. Be willing to be told, I don't like that. Be willing to let people walk by and not be interested in your products. But also be willing to see that there's other people that are absolutely interested in your products. They will ask you a lot of questions about it and will be more than willing to pay you for what it's worth because they already know it's a value.
Yeah.
Right? The faster you can grow your business with people that don't know you, the faster you can break out and do bigger things. You cannot let your business be constrained, or even your hobby. If you want to be an artist, again, nothing wrong with being an artist. Be an artist, right? But as soon as you can get feedback from people who aren't that close to you, the better.
Yeah.
That's the feedback. That's the people that actually are going to drive you, push you forward, not your family and friends. Again, I'm not discrediting family and friends. We love them. They love us. They're protective of us, right? But we can't hide behind them. That's very important. So those are the three things I would tell people that are trying to grow their business quickly.
I love that. What I get from that is create that reputation of excellence for yourself, and others will take that and run with it.
Be willing to put yourself out there. You can't grow in a cave. You got to get out there and mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe you fall flat on your face. Maybe not.
But you're going to learn something.
Right?
Right. If you go to that market and no one has any interest in what you're doing, I wouldn't change pace just yet. I would say, well, maybe this isn't the right market. Go to another market. Right?
Yeah.
But you're getting feedback along the way. Right? Right. Don't be the artist who has convinced themselves that, my paper plate artwork that I've been making in my garage that I think is so cool and groovy and whatever, made up paper plates, whatever. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Okay, don't be that guy and invest. At some point you do need to get out there and say, okay, does anyone else care about this? But it's not your family and friends that you need to convince. It's the people, your potential customers who should care, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, which you did ask me, leads me to one other thing, which is we all talk in the community about our work, our materials, our tools, our finishing techniques, our burnished edges, and all this kind of stuff, right? And we all have our opinions, and we all say what's right and what's wrong, and I do it like this, and you do it like that.
Yeah.
That's great. We share. That's how we learn as artists and craftsmen. However, we are not our customers. So, edges is one of those things that comes up over and over again, right? Somebody said edges and hand stitching versus machine stitching.
Sure.
Hand stitching is better, stronger. It's this. You should do this. All these kind of things. I have people come to me all the time, and they'll say, "Oh, but you machine stitch everything." I sure do.
Can't claim it's handmade if you use a machine.
You can't handmade. I was like, all right, whatever. We have that debate later, But I have to make to sustain this and grow. Put food on the table. Not my table, but everyone's table that works here. I need to make 200 of these this month. We're not going to hand stitch them all. There are some models in which would allow for that. We don't have that model. So it's not like you couldn't do it, but that's not what we do. You're going to make one of them this month and be very happy and proud of your work. And you should be proud of your work. But it's a different model. It's a different goal, right? Plus, we're not making safety harnesses here. Whether that wallet can sustain someone hanging off, 500-pound guy hanging off of it or not, doesn't matter. It's a wallet. It's stronger, but to what end? So all those little things, you need to measure and say, okay, what's the value of it? Does it really matter? More importantly, does it matter to my customer? When you're in business, you're trying to deliver value to the customer, not to the echo chamber of the leathercraft community, which I love and respect. I get a ton out of it. I hope that I give something to it as well. But customers are different, right? Customer walks in, they are not the ones who I need to impress. So I would love for other crafters to respect my work. I really do want them, but I need my customers to appreciate the value of my work. Is that
Yeah,
a little bit of a difference there?
your peers aren't going to be paying your bills.
Right. So my customers, in my business model, they're not going to pay me $1 more for hand stitched wallet than they will for machine stitched wallet. They don't assign value to it. Some of our customers will. It depends on how you have your model set up, right? Saddle makers and other artisans. Set your model up that's going to sustain the type of work that you want to do, right? So I'm not telling them to do what I'm doing. I'm saying, hey, it's the customer, people who are paying you to take that item home that determines how you do those things.
Sure.
Not Odin said he didn't like my edges, or Odin said I should do my edges like this instead of like that, or I should hand finish this versus machine. I'm just a craftsman. That's just an opinion. I'm not going to give you more revenue. I'm not going to affect your bottom line. That's just an opinion. You gotta take care of the customers at the end of the day. So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think one thing that I hear, we go to shows, we feature smaller people in the magazine, and one thing I hear is I'm terrified of the customer because my brother Timmy isn't gonna, hurt my feelings too bad. Thanks, when Timmy, I mess up his Christmas present. And they want to expand, but they're petrified by the customer. And that's a real reality for a lot of people. So I want to hear, what is the most surprising thing that's ever happened to you with a customer? And as somebody who has gone, through that space, okay, what would be your advice to the person who's petrified by the customer? I respect that feeling of being petrified. I think I was also scared. I was not cocky enough to think that, I'm so great, my products, everyone's going to love it. No, I don't know if anyone's going to love this at all. Yeah. There's two things that jump out to me. I make a tote bag. I've been making the same tote bag for many years, called the Forever Tote. It's simple. Many other people make very similar tote bag. But I remember that I sold that tote bag. Let's say I sold it for like $250 to a woman. She walks away with it. She's happy with it. I then remember going to another marketplace a year or two later. And I don't know if I remember the exact one, but I remember her walking up. I remember this woman walking up to the booth with this very intense look on her face. And she's looking like she's coming at me with a purpose, right? She's not just sauntering over. She's like, you can see in her face, I'm like, oh no. She says, I bought a bag from you. I think it's like 2 years ago, whatever. But it's very intense. It's not friendly. It's like, and I'm like, oh, here we go. And there's other potential customers around, like, oh, I might as well pack up my crap right now because she's going to tell them all that my work is not worth a thing. Yeah. Right. And I remember feeling that sense of panic. Sinking right to your stomach.
Oh God, what is she going to say? What's wrong? Did the handle fall off? Did the stitching break? I don't. It's all going through my head. Behind that very intense look, she was so intense because she said, I absolutely love this bag. I take it everywhere, and it's been doing this, and it's done that, and it's different. And she just goes down this list of why she loves it. And I'm like, I don't remember. All I remember is just feeling this sense of relief that the product held up. It did exactly what I said it was going to do, and she was happy with it, right? Yeah. But that for a moment there, I was like, oh God, she's just going to, we're in this corner of this whole market, but I'm thinking it's going to be blasted. She might as well have been on the PA system saying, don't buy from this guy, because that's what I was expecting. Yeah. So that was a big lesson for me. It's like, hey, take a deep breath, be passionate, you know what you know, you made a good product, and stand behind it. It's okay. Be willing to hear those conversations. And those conversations with customers are very, very valuable. Mm-hmm. If I make mistakes, if I make a mistake, now I say, hey, I apologize for making a mistake. What can I do to earn you, another opportunity to fix this for you? Those comments, that feedback is what is helping us improve. All right, so that's one story. The other story is, I would tell a lot of people is, we've all said don't judge a book by its cover, right? I've been at marketplaces and I've had all this stuff out there and I've had people walk up, and I'm in Dallas, right? We have a transient population here, and we have people we have very affluent folks, we have, not so affluent folks, but I remember my goal at these marketplaces was to treat everyone the same. I greet them the same way with the same amount of excitement and intensity. Everyone's a potential customer. I don't pressure anyone. I don't care if you buy. I'm not here to sell you anything. That's kind of how I approach it. I'm not here to sell you. I'm just here to share. You have a question, I'm here to answer your question, right? If I answer in a way that makes you want to buy something, outstanding. Let me help you out with that. If you walk up to me and you don't look like you have a penny to your name, and I have this one customer in mind, to be honest, it looked like did you just walk in? Like, where'd you come off from? Like, again, you're probably just a transient guy. He kind of walks in, he's trying to see what's going on over here. It's like this outdoor market. Mm-hmm. And I see other vendors that kind of shoot him away. Doesn't look very good. He came to my booth. He says, oh man, I really love that It was a pair of saddlebags, right? Traditional like saddlebags, nothing fancy. It was just, I thought it was just there for decoration. And he's talking. I'm like, I don't care. I'm here to talk. Let's talk to him. I talked to him for 15 minutes and this and that, and hung out with him. His wife comes over, also looking like she didn't have, in my mind at least, didn't like she had much. They didn't have much to spend. And she asked about this $300 set of saddlebags here. I'm like, whatever. You're here. I'm talking. I'm treating you like I treat everyone else. I'm not going to break stride with you to go take care of this person up here.
Sure.
I'm talking to you first. That guy's wound up spending $1,200 a day.
You got Adam Sandler.
You know what? It would have been like Adam Sandler. It would have been like us in some fancy place in California. Adam Sandler walks in with basketball shorts and no tennis shoes. That's exactly what it would have been like.
That's awesome.
Our natural instinct would have been, I need to go talk to this woman over here who looks like she's all put together. She has all this stuff and she's got her hair big. No, treat him. I'm treating everyone the same way.
Yeah.
And more often than not, well, I know. So that instance, that gentleman spent a lot of money at the time with me. And if I had treated him differently, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Right? So treat everyone the same way. And then a lot of people ask, well, how do you get this opportunity to be on TV and do these other things? The work I did today is probably going to affect, conversation I have today, work I do today is going to affect what happens to me 3, 4, 5 years from now.
Yeah.
So some of the opportunities that have come our way that really helped grow the business is because you don't notice at the time. You have to kind of backtrack. It's like, well, how did you hear about us? Thank you for being here. How did you hear about us? Oh, well, so-and-so met you at this market, this coffee shop you were doing. It's a little bitty market, 3 vendors, 3 years ago, and you were nice to her son because her son was into baseball, and you sold him a wallet that was made out of a baseball glove, and you took time with him.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. I was 3 years, fast forward 3 years, she puts me in the loop, this thing's happened, and now I'm on TV talking about my business, which was a great benefit to my business at the time. It's helped us grow a lot.
Yeah.
But it had to do with something that happened 3 years ago that I don't even remember the interaction.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens. So just be confident, walk in there, head up, shoulders back, and treat everyone the same way. Treat literally everyone the same way. With respect and like they're worth something. You'll come across some jerks every now and then. Keep moving. Go back to what you're doing. And I think overall, it will work out in your favor.
I love that.
Yeah.
So on the other side of this, you're a corporate man. You own your company. You're a devoted husband and father. Every time I talk to you, you've got a baseball game or a football game or something going on. And so many people have that, right? And how do you protect your balance and your peace and your creativity? Because so many people, they say, oh, I am so burnt out. This is something that I absolutely love and I thrive on. And it helps me be the person I want to be, but I am burnt out. Yeah. And I have no more creative flow. How do you protect that when you're such a busy man? I
think that's a really tough question. And honestly, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if I have it figured out yet.
Yeah.
I really don't believe I have it figured out. I suffer burnout just like anyone else. I can list off a number of things I wish I would put more time in. I should have done this, I should have done that around the house. My wife's been asking me to do this thing and I haven't done it. I spend a intense amount of time in the workshop. And it's exacerbated by the fact that my workshop's not at my home anymore. Now it's away. It's 15, 20 minutes away now. First thing I would say that helps has nothing to do with me, to be honest. It has to do with my wife. My wife has created an environment where it makes this more manageable, even when we're at home. And my first workshop was only 5 minutes away. My wife made an effort to bring the kids to me. She knows that whenever I left the workshop, I had to break stride. And anytime I left the workshop, it was like an hour at least out of my day. Mm-hmm. And I had to go back and make up, I always feel like I had to go back and make up that hour, right? If I come home and I do this thing, hang out, play a game with the kids, all that kind of stuff, that's an hour and a half, 2 hours, I've got to go back to workshop, put that same 2.5 hours back in. Sure. My first few years in my first workshop, she brought the kids to me. She'd always bring the kids to me. So dinner time, she brings the kids to me. We had dinner in the workshop. We had a table there, and we had many, many, many family dinners in that workshop. Mm-hmm. She did that, not me, right? And so that was her supporting me. And so that's a beautiful thing. I like to think that I did something maybe to make her feel like that I was worth doing that for. I hope that she got that from me. You have to ask her that question, but that really, really helped. The family started revolving around, well, not revolving around the workshop, but the workshop was built around the family, and it was kind of merged into the same thing. My kids are very comfortable in the workshop. They know where I'm at. I mean, it's just part of what we do every day. That's a blessing. I don't know if everyone has that, but it's been great for me. Very helpful. So she did that. So spouses have a huge impact on our success in our mental space. Little things like that have a huge impact. Not having to explain why I have to go back and put that time in, and I have to explain why it takes so long. She never made me do that. She could see it, and she flowed with it. Okay, so that's one thing. Now, in terms of other balance, I don't know. I mean, I probably would be called a workaholic. What saves me, though, the saving grace there is that I enjoy the work I do. When I am doing consulting work and I'm spending many hours in corporate environments and board meetings and Zoom calls, things like that, I've never been trying to escape that work. Good at it. I've made a significant living off of doing it. I enjoy doing that work. Leathercraft is an additional thing, not the thing that I'm trying to, replace the other thing with. Vice versa. I'm not trying to replace leathercraft work with corporate work. There's just two angles and two sides of my business life, right? And what I enjoy doing. And I have tried to find ways to make those things match. And at times I've had to ramp one up and ramp one down. I've been able to build a team on the leathercraft side that helps me manage the ebbs and flows of my corporate work. My time where I'm there, when I'm not there. This new work from home environment that's happened after COVID really helped me, because for me, it's never been work from home. It was always work from the workshop, and I'm back and forth. I'm managing both at the same time. That's helped out a lot. Balance is something I'm still striving for. My wife will tell you, and this is where she will criticize me. She's like, hey, you don't spend enough time at home. I'm like, well, we weren't doing anything at home, right? If we are not doing something actively as a family, I'm going to the workshop. I'm not one to sit around and watch TV. I don't have a lot of interest in that. I will do it. If we're doing it together, family comes first. Family, kids have something. I don't care if it's a recital at school, whatever it is, I'm going to that no matter what. I leave. Right. But if we're going to just be sitting around doing nothing, to the workshop I go. Mm-hmm. So now it's like, how can I pull them back into the workshop and give my kids things to do? Not work. Like my daughter, she's very arts and crafts. She enjoys all the stuff. Now it's like, hey, would you like to come back to workshop with me so you can practice your art that you were doing? Yeah. And so it loops her in. She feels like she's connected, but also gives me a hard out, because at some point that little girl's got to go to bed. Yeah. I've got to take her home. Okay, well, without that, I would just be there until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, because my red flag, like my toxic red flag, if you want, I think that's the new language people are using, is if I miss bedtime where my kids are going to sleep and my wife is asleep, I'm like, well, hell, they're already asleep. I mean, what's the point of rushing home now and be sitting around by myself? I might as well just stay here. And then I'm there until like 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. My workshop is my space. It is a retail store. It is a production workshop, but it is also my man cave, I guess. I enjoy being there. And I think that's a good thing. I don't dread going to work. I don't dread going to the workshop ever. I want to be in my workshop. The downside to that is it's not at home, and at some point I've got to go home and I've got to sleep and things like that. So the balance is tough. I'll be honest, it's very tough. I think maybe the goal for me and most of us is not so much how do we avoid working so hard and working those 50, 60, 70 hour a week type deals. It is, how long do I need to do that to get to a place where I won't have to do it in the future? Right? I don't avoid work. I don't mind doing that. But we all should have a point in the future where it's like, hey, I'm doing this now so that I don't have to do it later. I'm doing this now so that I get my team to a place, or I get my business to a place where I don't have to spend time here after 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, whatever. When I leave here, I go back home, I have goals. Then in terms of balance, my goals are, we close at 7. I want to leave the workshop more often than not by 7 o'clock. Yeah. That's going to be really, really tough for me. I'm hands down tough. So I'll probably have to negotiate something with my wife. I'm like, hey, what if it's like 3 nights a week, I'm out of here by 7, and then the other nights I have a little more flexibility, something like that. But I'm going to have to set some goals that we'll have to agree to together, that she's happy with, I'm happy with, that gives me enough space. Probably don't need to spend as much time at the workshop as I do. I just need to be more efficient. Yeah. And that's really, we talked about efficiency already. That's really what it's about, is just find a way to be more efficient. I don't know. If you figure it out, somebody else figures it out, send me an email or something. Let's talk, because balance is definitely tough.
Yeah. I think that there's clear joy in everything. There's joy in the corporate, there's joy in the workshop, and there's joy in your family. It's clear. So what is your favorite part of the physical process of leather?
So these days, what I love the most about leather crafting is going to be the design process, I think, right? I like treating I like treating the workshop and the workbench as a lab. I am blessed to have some gentlemen to help me out with the production work now. That is very, very helpful. Building that team has allowed me to now, when I go in, I'm spending my hours late, 2 o'clock in the morning,
Sure.
trying to figure out a problem, designing a new bag or a new wallet or a new something. Mostly it's corporate work. So we do a lot of corporate work where someone says, hey, we need this thing for our business and we're going to give it out to salespeople and we're going to use it with pouches, whatever it may be. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Okay, let's go through the process of designing it, then figuring out not only do I have to design something cool that they like, but I have to design something that we can produce, right? I'm trying to get it down to as many, basically I'm trying to get all the superfluous stuff out of the process. Mm-hmm. You can make anything once.
Sure.
Right? But can you make it 1,000 times? It's a whole different ball game, right? You want me to make some bag? I'll make a bag one time, no problem, right? It's cool. We had a good time. Okay, great. Enjoy your bag. I'm off to the next thing. But when they come back and say, hey, now I need 500 of these, you're like, I really don't love it that much. I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have considered these. Those are the type of things I enjoy working through that process. Kind of like an engineer. How can I design an item that we can produce, in mass quantity, and produce it well with what we have to work with here? Right? Not if I only went and got more people or if I only got more machinery. No. With what I have here, what can we do and do well? I tend to, when customers call, corporate customers call, sometimes they have something in mind already. And I was like, hey, instead of us talking about the thing that you think you want, tell me what you're trying to achieve.
Sure.
I did this also on consulting. This is where the corporate background comes into place, right? For me, in that case, the job is to deliver a solution, not an item, if that makes sense. So
yeah, I love that.
You have a sales incentive, you have an event, you're trying to give all your people this experience or this thing that solves this problem. Well, let's talk about what the problem is first, and then work backwards from the problem into what the solution is. Customers often come to you and say, no, I want this thing. I had a customer come to me, this is a very small item, as a knife maker. He came in, he said, I don't want to talk about anything else. He's kind of grumpy, as old guys we tend to be. He walks in, I want a knife, I need this, here's the leather I want you to use. I don't need to hear about all this stuff, here's the leather. And he has this beautiful Damascus chef knife.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And he throws on the table this, thin chrome tan leather. I was like, okay. He had already decided what the solution was. Other guy did this for me. He charged me this much, and I want you to do the same thing. Can you do it? Yes or no? No. What do you mean you can't do it? It's easy. I could do it, but I'm not going to do it. Well, why not? Because if I do it for you, you're going to tell somebody else, and then they're going to tell you that I robbed you, right? I'm not doing that. But if you allow me a moment to explain why, solution mode now.
Yeah.
Chrome is going to be corrosive to those knives. It's not going to have any, not going to protect them. And we went through this whole thing. He's like, okay, got it. I don't want to deliver the thing you say. I want to deliver the solution.
Yeah.
The solution was you need a simple veg tan. I think they call it saya, so it's sheath, but it's not.
Sure.
It's just for storage. We can do that all day long. Easy, simple, no problem. How many do you need? I need this amount. Okay, well, we need to design it this way. These are the things we need to consider. Material, time. We're going to avoid these things. We're going to choose this leather. It's already tanned, blah, blah, blah. We'll have it for you in 2 weeks. Got it.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I enjoy. What's the problem? What are we trying to solve for? Do you need to brand it? Yeah. Well, yeah, we need to brand it. Well, do you need to brand it because it's going to be a promotional piece for you? If it needs to be a promotional piece for you, well, how big do we need to have the brand on there? Where does it be located? Here? Does it be located there?
Yeah.
We need to locate it there, but we want a black leather. No one's going to see it on black leather. What if we go with a brown leather? And we go through this cycle of questions to try to get them where they need to be.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that process.
And they walk away happier than they ever could have thought.
Especially if the price is down lower, right? It's like, hey, yeah, you could spend that, but
It's probably the best part.
they appreciate it. And they're getting something that they know is going to meet their needs, not just they ordered it online and we sent them exactly what they asked for and it didn't really hit the mark. Though, by the way, those customers don't come back because they realize it doesn't work for them. So next year when they need to do the same thing, they'll go find somebody else and they'll do the same thing again.
Yeah.
We show up, we're like, no, we're going to give you a solution to your problem. Now, events are the same way. when we do events, and we do a lot of events, we do a branding bar, we do a belt bar, hat bar, all these different things that we've done. We take kind of take the show on the road. What we do is, again, we deliver a solution. Tell me what type of event you want to deliver to your guests. What type of guests are they? Are you talking about your board members? Is it a small, intimate group? Is it your people you're really trying to wow? Is it thousands of people you're just trying to get a product in their hand that has your logo on it? What are you trying to deliver, right? Do you want it to be very rigid, where we're very structured and only one per person, or do you want it to be fun and joyful and and lively? Okay, well then we need to give people a chance to make mistakes. We need to give them a chance to have more than one. What do you want to deliver? Okay, we're going to give you a solution for that. My wife has gotten really, really good at that as well.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's how we do it. That's the business background that helps us with that.
And that's the same thing as you didn't remember that young man 3 years prior, but that corporate or that whomever that is, that individual is going to tell the other company, or he's going to tell his other friend that you took the time
to deliver. That's the goal. It really is.
Yeah.
It's the goal. I tend to be more proud about the work when we do it like that. But it also, I think there's a long tail to it that is, it comes back around. When that person leaves that company, they go to another company and say, hey, I've got this folks we worked with down in Texas, and they were able to do this thing for us, and let's call them up. Maybe they have a solution. Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Comes back to just that, treat others how you want to be treated.
When you make mistakes, you fess up, you say, yep, I made a mistake. I am so sorry. I apologize. Let me fix it. Or would you allow me the opportunity to fix the mistake?
Yeah.
Right?
Sometimes they're going to say no.
Sometimes they say no. And we apologize profusely for making that mistake because of misunderstanding. And it happens. I mean, I'd be lying to say
We're human.
We're human. We're not perfect, But when we can, we like to fix it, and we like to fix it with integrity and say, I've made many a mistake that you're like, oh man. We had a job we did some years back where because I didn't give good it was my fault. It's always my fault, by the way. That's how I approach it. In this case, my team stamped the components of the leather pieces. They stamped them wrong, but stamped the wrong place. I did not do a good job explaining to them the requirements were to put it here in this place, da, 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 da. They were trying to do the best job they could based on what they knew. I was the one that failed on that one. So, all right, every piece we made, it's 500 pieces, had scrap. Got to be replaced.
Yeah.
Okay, call the customer. Made a mistake, and you can hear the voice as I'm telling them I made a mistake. They're like, well, I'm not going to pay. No. I'm knowing it. That's my fault. I've got to cover the cost on that, not you. I just want to make sure let you know that we're going to be behind by half a day or 2 days or whatever, right? Is that all? Like, it's all because we got to make up for it. That's on us. That's how we try to approach things. Now, the flip side of that is I've had customers who swore we made a mistake. We didn't make a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not going to discredit and be disrespectful to my team who did good work, and myself who's part of this and did good work, just to make that one person happy. My team is more important.
Sure.
So I will stand up for my team all day long, right? Just because you're grumpy and we have a document process, like we do proofs, and before we continue with this, there's a document that outlines everything. This is the leather we're using. This is where the logos go. This is how it's going to be stamped. If it's all detailed out, and we send it to the customer, let's review it. Anything that's wrong, we will go with that. Through that, we'll make corrections there. But once you sign off on it, I'm responsible to deliver like this. And if I don't deliver based on what I outlined in this document with these pictures and everything on it that you said, if I put the logo in the wrong place, it's an inch over too far, or it's half, whatever, that you can measure, my mistake.
Yeah.
Consequently, if you got something wrong,
On the reverse of that.
then I'm not going to eat that. But I will do my best to meet you in the middle somewhere where we can both walk away and be very happy. And people do appreciate that as well. Most of them appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've narrowed down your lane, and you've made that a focus. But you've done quite a bit of custom work in your day. What was your favorite piece?
Favorite piece. I get that question a lot. Favorite piece is a really tough question because the favorite thing is usually a thing I'm working on at the time.
Yeah.
And I move on to the next thing. There's been some really enjoyable pieces. One of those enjoyable pieces was last year. In Louisville, which is where the shop is. We call it Dallas, but it's the Metroplex. So we actually the shop is actually in Louisville, Texas.
Sure.
Collectively Dallas, but they do a tamale eating championship every year. We have a big festival, 3 or 4 day festival called the Western Days Festival. It's a big deal for Louisville, and they have a tamale eating contest. I didn't even know there's a professional like eating league of people out there. There's competitions all over the world, and they're part of a league like NBA, MLB. There's an eating league as well. Insane.
I've never heard of such a thing.
It's insane. You'd be surprised at things that are out there we don't know about because we're not involved with. But they come to town, they do tamale eating contests, and the guy, I don't know if you know what a tamale is, but okay, these are heavy, dense items. They'll eat 80 of them. The winner this year ate, I think, 87 tamales in like 10 minutes. And these are little guys. These are not big guys. The big guys don't do anything. They never win. It's the little guys they're like 135 pounds, and they're just slamming insane stuff, right? So they come to town and they ask, we need a championship belt. Okay. We want something that's local and, represents us. And I said, well, what specs do you have? They said, no, just go. Usually I hate when somebody says, well, just whatever you think, just do whatever you like. So what's your budget? Well, whatever you think. It's like I need constraints. Tell me something to work within. I need to know how big the artboard is so I can design within that. And they really didn't have any of that. So long story short, I made this tooled championship belt. It's fully tooled. The whole thing is tooled. The big panel, you can probably see it on the website. It says, Tamale Eating Championship of the World in Dayton. It has a tamale tooled on it. I gave them a proposal. I kind of sketched out what I was going to do. They're like, oh, we love it. It's great. Go for it. I think they thought I was going to deliver like a leather belt with a piece of plastic on the front of it, but I went full tilt. I've tooled like everyone else. We start doing tooling, but I moved away from tooling and carving leather earlier to more structured uptown. Don Gonzalez calls it uptown. That's why I always call it uptown. Yeah. So I take it, it's just uptown style work. Not a lot of tooling. That's not what I've done. That's not what I've been known for. Any tooling you see me do, that's usually on the side. It's kind of on the hobby side. Sure. But I tooled the entire belt. And I was in it and I was thinking to myself, man, I've probably bitten off way too much, right? I shouldn't have done this. But anyway, I did it and it turned out just outstanding. Turned out great. And I was so burnt out after I was finished that, because up to the last minute. I mean, the competition is the next day. I'm finishing off the night before, going like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I crash. And they're calling and saying, hey, can you come up here? We want you to present it. I'm like, present it? I'm just a leather guy. I just got to give it to you. My wife actually went and presented it. And to see the videos of her, kids climbing around her, they want to put the belt on their shoulder. There's just all the excitement around the belt. It's like there's always more excitement around this tooled belt. And when I say this belt, this is a big, it's 12 inches tall. It's 50 inches all the way around. The whole thing is tooled. It was an endeavor, especially for someone like me that's not my normal style of work. And it was a day later after I saw these videos, and my wife, she's like Vanna White out there. She's on the belt off, and all these people want to take pictures with it. And there's pictures all over the place of people holding the belt like it's the, championship trophy. And I was like, that's so cool. I am very, very proud of that. That was a very cool experience to do that. And that was in the last year or so. That was probably one of my favorite projects. But not a favorite until after it was done. Before then, it's like, oh, I don't know if I did the right thing. Yeah, I should have had some help on this. So I've got those stories like that I'm very proud of. And then there's other things where maybe not the biggest and grandiose projects, but I typically, when someone says, do you do custom work? My first response is, no, we don't do custom work. We're typically too busy keeping up with our store. But what'd you have in mind? Yeah. Okay. So I set the expectation, no, don't do custom. But then I leave a little door open to say, but if something cool, maybe I can fit it in. So lady comes in with her big dog. It's a big German Shepherd type dog. Sure. And she says, hey, I know this is weird, but I've got this thing. I need this like saddlebag harness thing for my dog. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, we don't really have time for custom. You'd have to wait a while for it because which is true, we're just slammed in our own production work. She says, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll go someplace else. And some made me ask, well, why does the dog need saddlebags? She says, well, because he has a best friend that he likes to take with him. Like, another dog? She says, no, it's a bearded dragon.
Oh, gosh.
I was like, okay, lady, I'm
intrigued now.
I'm intrigued now. You got me hooked. The bearded dragon on the German Shepherd? Okay, we're in it. Let's talk about it. And there's no reason for us to do this. No. It wasn't a moneymaker for us or anything. We're never going to incorporate a set of saddlebags for a bearded dragon into a store.
But nobody else has done it.
No one else has done it. It was fun. And the joy on that woman's face when we delivered it was worth it. right? So typically start off with, no, we don't do custom. And the custom items that you do see me do online and the videos, these are hobby type projects for us. And just because it was a cool project that I just couldn't say no to. And that was one of them. I was like, I needed to make a set of saddlebags for this German Shepherd to take his best friend, the bearded dragon, which is a big lizard.
Yeah,
right?
they're huge and creepy.
And to carry with him everywhere he goes. It's like the service dog had its own service lizard. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was, it was simple at the end of the day, but it was fun for her, and the smile on her face was awesome. So the little things like that I've done that are meaningful. Even I've done some prosthetic pieces.
Okay.
Which is strange, where someone says, hey, no one else can do this because no one does leather anymore. And I had this prosthetic piece made 50 years ago. That's a real story. It's a concrete guy. He says this new prosthetic stuff doesn't work because you can't get, it can't get dirty in the concrete, but that's my living. This old decrepit leg thing, right? I need this. I want this. And no one else will make it for me. They want me to do this carbon fiber, all this other stuff. It's like, can you help me out with this? Mm-hmm. You can kind of see a little desperation on his face also. It's like, yeah, I don't have time for it. Got other things to do. I see the girls in the background like, say no. Because they know I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're gonna figure it out. I don't know what it is. We're gonna figure it out. And we did. And small things, no one's ever gonna know about it. I don't think we even have pictures of it. But it was so meaningful to that gentleman, it was worth it. So it really wasn't the project, it was just the outcome I think I'm more happy and proud about, and those are things I remember. I mean, we've done really cool stuff over the years, but we move on to the next thing pretty quickly because there'll be another cool thing, but little stories like that mean most to me.
That's incredible. That speaks to your character. Now, I have a question. I want to burst your bubble a little bit on this one. So every time I talk to you, you have another passion, and I know that you get very involved in them. So you got Jiu-jitsu, is that how you say that?
Jiu-jitsu.
You have your motorcycles, your leather work, and your corporate things. You got to choose one of them for the rest of your life. Which one are you choosing?
That's probably easy. I mean, it would be leather.
Okay.
But, okay, now, there's a lot of things that go into that decision, but I go through them really quickly, which
I didn't even manage to burst your bubble.
No, you're not burst my bubble. It would be leather because I can still make money off of leather.
Yeah.
I can still be fulfilled on the creative side with leather. I can still share and talk, and this conversation, like all that comes out of leather. Leather has provided me more value than I would have ever imagined. I enjoy these conversations. For being typically an introvert, but when I have something I enjoy, I don't mind talking about it all day. I mean, I enjoy sharing, I enjoy learning, I enjoy asking questions. You have these other interviews with other folks, I will listen to those interviews intently because I'm learning so much from them. I'd rather not even hear myself talk. I want to hear everyone else talk, really. The leathercraft gives a lot. So I would absolutely choose that, right? Motorcycle, I'm thinking my motorcycle phase is over at this point. I'm done with it. Corporate work, well, the problem with corporate work, I can let it go, but leathercraft will turn back into corporate work. So I'm cheating a little bit there. And then I will hold on to jiu-jitsu because I hope to I've not been training for a while, but I hope to get back in training real soon. That gives a lot health-wise, stress-wise. Yeah. There's a lot there. It's hard to be upset and stressed out when some guys just kind of choked you out or try to rip your arm off. I mean, it puts things into perspective. Yeah. No, it puts things into perspective. Jiu-jitsu is a humbling thing, right? The folks that train a lot, they do very well. Nicest folks in the world because they don't have a lot of stress. They're getting it all out, and they also know you can't judge a book by its cover, and so they approach the world. I think they approach life a little differently, and so I've learned a lot from jiu-jitsu as well. My son's wrestling now too, so.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
High school wrestling?
He's in high school wrestling, and he thinks that he is the greatest thing since Hulk Hogan, and I've got to remind him he is not. Yet. I hope you will be, but not today, buddy. Yeah. And so I got to put him in his place.
I think that's the thing. I grew up with a bunch of brothers. They all did wrestling. It's a fantastic sport.
I didn't. I grew up on the Gulf Coast. We had no wrestling on the Gulf Coast. We had football, baseball, basketball. That's it.
I have one piece of advice for you. Do not let your wife too close to the mat during the season because I have been there when you can hear those bones snap. I'm not joking. Anyway, keep her up in the stands so she doesn't.
I may have lost that battle already. I may have lost it. She's intense, whether it be any of the sports. I mean, she's out there and she's She's not the parent trying to do all the coaching, but she is yelling and hollering. We start off with ice hockey, which is a whole different type of cheering and fussing. Yeah. We go to wrestling, way too quiet in the wrestling match. We're like, we're leaning in, but we're doing it for all the kids.
Sure.
I'm picking out kids from other schools. I pick out an underdog. I'm just going to cheer for that kid because it's a lot of effort for them to get on that mat and try that. I don't care where the kid's from.
It takes effort.
It takes effort. I'm going to cheer for that child no matter what, okay? My son's like, he's on another team. I was like, yeah, but he's doing so well, or she's doing so well. You got to respect that. And so that's how my family's always been. We're intense, but it's intense across the board. We're just happy about all the kids. But my wife is definitely one on the mat, and she's smacking the mat and she's yelling and hollering, and they're like, people look at me like I can't do anything with her. I'm not even gonna try.
I'm not her keeper.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little more quiet than she is with that type of stuff.
That's fair. That's fair. I have one last question for you, and I know your time's valuable, but I ask this to everyone who sits in that seat. If there was one piece of advice you could give yourself or anybody else, these 10 years ago, for you, it would have been a little bit sooner than that. But what's that piece of advice you would have given your younger self that you know now?
Go broke early.
Go broke early.
It's simple, right? It's what I mean by that is, I'm 45 years old now. The decisions I make have to be more conservative because I have a team at the workshop, wife, I have kids. I'm ultimately responsible for them. I will give up the world for them.
Sure.
That's my role, right? Got to be conservative. But when I was 21, 22, I should have done all that stuff then, right? I should have tried it. I should have tried the businesses. I should have all these things that I was honestly I don't want to make a mistake. I want to be very conservative. Should have tried it all then. If you go broke, you make a mistake, you have time to recover within reason. Within reason. But you have time to recover. Once you start getting responsibilities, you have a team, you have payrolls, you have other things, you have to be more conservative. You should be more conservative. So I would tell everyone, I would tell my kids, go broke early. Yeah. Do it early. Get out. It's not even about getting out of your system. It's more about try it.
Before you have another mouth to feed.
Before you have another mouth to feed, and before you have to you have to worry about, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, if my daughter goes off to school and she comes out of school and she says, yeah, Dad, I want to buy this thing. I want to buy an apartment complex. I'm not buying an apartment. That's way too risky. It's like, give it a shot. What happens if it doesn't work out? Well, it doesn't work out. And you're young, and you will recover, and you will be better off when you go to the next thing. Yeah. Right? Give it a shot. If you go broke, you go bust, and it doesn't work out. I also know that she's got a family behind her, and I had a family also. When you're young, you don't appreciate it as much. They're not going to let me live in my car. Some of them may, life lessons, right? Yeah. But you have a structure there that hopefully will help you out. Not necessarily monetarily and pay your way out of trouble, but it's going to tell you, hey, it's going to be okay. We still love you. You still have value. If you didn't work out, at least you tried. That's what I would tell and I do tell my kids that. Give it a shot. If it doesn't work out, it didn't work out. Move on to the next thing. Yeah. You'll be better for it. Leathercraft, try to make that thing. You want to open up a business? I think you should be, I'm not saying go into the world blindly, right? But don't let your fears hold you back from trying something new. And if it doesn't work out, scratch it off the list and move on to the next thing.
I love that. That's great advice. I appreciate your time. You've been very generous with it, and I've enjoyed this conversation. And everybody else out there listening, make sure that you like and subscribe so you don't miss any more conversations like this one. Thank you.